All right. Sweet email marketing strategies for business websites. Good morning. And I am excited to be here with you again. I'm always happy to be here with you because I think every time I show up with a new topic, I can see that you are interested. So thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for just being here because you could be anywhere else, but you're here. So I appreciate that. And I thank you. Thank you for your time. And thank you for also taking action because, if you're just going to be here listening and not taking action, it's not going to be long until it's obsolete. So you want to take action as you go so that you can progress and give people the best of you. So it's exciting. It's like really exciting to be here and talk to you about something that is very important to me, which is which is email marketing. It's a big thing, and I don't take it for granted. So I'm really excited to spend the time with you here today and give you some insights on how email marketing should work for you and the best ideas and the best things that you can do for your business long term. So these are some things that you have to think about as well. And I think this is going to be one of those rooms that you'll be able to learn a little bit more and then we can be able to get it from there. So this is something that will also help, your boost, your traffic, your goals. So it's going to be something that we're really going to dive deeper into. And if you're interested, I'm going to put the link at the very top now. So welcome in, welcome Ricky and Amraj. Thank you for being here. Now I'm going to put the link at the top of the room. Let's see. This is going to be exciting. Hey Juan, thanks for being here. Good morning. I sent you a message, by the way. It's so hard to reach people on the app. So just wanted to let you know, please check your message. Thank you so much for the message. I didn't see it till I saw the request folder. So I responded back on time. So I wanted to make sure that you have it. So thank you so much for being here. Hope you are doing well and hope you are having, a great time as well. So this is one of the rooms that we're gonna really dive deeper into understanding how email marketing works, why email marketing is important, and what the essence of email marketing is, so that if you need your business, your SEO, your website, your traffic, it's very important. Right now we do have something going on, and I'm going to start off the room by letting you know. So if you click the link above, that will give you access to getting an email, and you can be able to decide to choose three options. You can either pay a deposit, 20%, or you can pay it in full for 1,000 for 3 months in total, or you can join the 2025 wait list. So I'm excited. Thanks, Juan. Appreciate that. Yes, I just wanted to let you know. Thank you so much. I'm glad he jumped into the room earlier. So yeah, we're gonna have this three options once you click the link above, and then we'll activate this SEO results for you, because the goal is not just to create content, it's to activate content, right? It's to activate engagement. Before I even open this room, I'm currently working on a digital billboard for a client, and it's exciting because I was literally just dealing with pixels. When you do digital billboards, you have to be very specific with your pixel, your size. You have to be very specific with the angle, what the message is. Is the color wrong? Like, to the point where there's a time I did something for a client. They deal with mobile drug testing and DNA paternity testing, and what I realized is, when I was running an ad for them, they're in Memphis, and we did the ad, and then one of the colors that we chose, because their logo is very bright, right? And they have like a set of two or three colors. So the one that was a lit like amber, it looked like when you're driving and it turns amber before it turns red. That's the color that it was showing. So I got a response back saying, hey, you got to change this hex code, because this is the same color that's going to match somebody driving on the road. So if somebody is going to see that on the road and they think that you're going to stop, or stop driving fast, or pretty much come to a stop, and they see that and they actually do that, that can cause damage on the road, right? That can cause an accident, God forbid. So they're very cautious with even color. So it's not just, oh, I'm going to paste something on the web or I'm going to paste something on the digital billboard. It's very specific. So we had to change the hex code, give it a little bit shades darker because it's going to be by the exit. You know, right before you get off the exit, you see a huge post. So you can even see the streetway. When you go on Google Maps, we can see exactly where that thing is located. So we also make sure that, hey, if you're going to take a right turn, then you're going to drive a little bit less, maybe 30 miles per hour. And then you can now at least see that post for the next 5 seconds before you drive off. So those are some things that you have to think about when you're making these things. So that's what I'm currently working on. We're running another one, reaching about 10,000 people an hour, which is crazy, across 3 billboards. And this is all to make sure that we can get sweet. It's called, today's topic is sweet email marketing strategies. So it's sweet. You know, why is it sweet? Because people like to get good things. Like when you receive a gift, when somebody gives you a present, when it's your birthday, you get something, you know, you got a surprise, you feel good, you feel appreciated, and you're appreciated. So you have to feel that way. And it's not just one day in a year, it's every day. Because you know, you have to take that chance and also build that tenacity. So how do you build that with the people you connect with using email marketing? That's the big question. So if you're going to be doing email marketing and connecting with people, then the goal is to show up for them. How do you show up for people? You show up for people by creating content that they actually need. I've been talking about bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, and top of funnel. I've been doing that, you know, for the past week. Now that's covered, I don't need to bring that up again because if you want to listen to it, I said everything I needed to say and we can move on, because I also don't want us to get stuck, you know, in the rut by saying the same thing over and over again. So today we're going to be talking about strategies for email marketing. And if you have email marketing as a strategy, what's up, Nana? Thanks for joining. If you do email marketing and you're a business, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't do email marketing and you want to, put a 2 in the chat. I want us to have an interactive session today. So it's Happy Tuesday, Happy Taco Tuesday, and we're going to have a great time today. So let me know in the chat if you want to know more about email marketing and you don't do it, put a 2. But if you do it and you have a business, put a 1. So let's see. Okay. So nobody is putting anything in the chat. I think like, okay, it's in the morning, so we're going to be engaging here. But I want to give you guys, and possibly you don't even know the answer. So I think the major thing that you also have to look out for, right, is if, you know, you see, I don't do email marketing, but want to. Yeah, you see, thank you for saying that, because sometimes it just takes one person to say, yeah, me too, yeah, me too. Before you know it, everybody's saying me too. And I asked the first time. So I know you're here because you have a question. I don't know what the question is, but I'm going to hope that I answer the question eventually so that you can understand what you're possibly missing out. Yesterday, I talked about conversation and conversion, right? With top of funnel. If you don't have the right information, how are you going to send the right information through? Hey, Derek, good morning. How are you going to send the right information through? So your messaging has to be very intentional. And the intention of building your tenacity online is by creating, you know, marketing strategies with email involved that can give you resources that allow you to even be able to have a better understanding of how you can, you know, connect with people. So when you think about email marketing and you think about the way you are presenting your message, it plays a big role, a huge role actually, into how somebody is going to receive that. It just plays a big role into how people are going to receive that. Because if people are going to receive it in a certain kind of way, then that way has to be shown throughout the process. It's not just a, you know, stick on. It's something that's going to happen consistently. So if you're going to connect to people on the web using email marketing, how will that email make sense to them, especially if they have been getting your emails but you've not had a one-on-one conversation with them? Hey D, good morning. If you've not had a one-on-one conversation with them, right, how are they going to know that this is also something that they need to have, right? Because email marketing also has its own thing. It has its own, it has its own base. Hey, it has its own base because you are creating a notion that Somebody is going to receive an email, and whatever you're going to write there, they're going to read it. Like, people read emails. I know people don't like to read, but people read emails, especially if that email is very important to them. They will read the email. Like, they will read the email. Speaking of emails, when you send an email, right, and the the recipient gets it, and it's like, okay, the response comes back maybe a day or two. That conversation that you're having is leading to a very simple objective or a simple point, right? It's heading somewhere. So as you're creating content and giving people the incentive to, listen to you, to build with you, to create content over time, then there's something that's going to be happening at the same time, which is creating a reason for them to wait to actually engage with your emails. And let me say this right now. Email marketing is not, how do I put this? Email marketing, I'm trying to find the best way to put this. Email marketing is not, it's not click save and it's not click publish and go. Let me put it like that. It's not click publish and go. Because I know, Ian, you said you don't do email marketing, but you want to. I think the best way to even think about this is thinking about the person you are trying to connect with. Brevity is wise. I'll say that again. Brevity is wise. When you're more concise with someone's time, then they'll feel that you respect their time too. Email wise, I don't know if this makes sense. Like, if you send me an email and this email is long, great, I'm gonna read it. But if this email is short, to the point, and I can click through and it takes me to a page where I can actually scan through, that's giving me first party data, that's giving me analytics, that's giving me reading time, that's giving me authoritative data points, that's giving me click rates, that's giving me everything I need outside the email. The email is the sender, it's the box. It's like the switch up engine. Like, okay, let's switch it up here, let's shift gears, click here, and then move on. You're not keeping them in the email. Yes, they're in the email to leave the email to a destination. But if they stay in your email, great, that's fine. They've opened it, they read it, but if they can't click to where they need to be, that you need them to go, then the point is pointless. It's vanity, because now you're chasing butterflies. Now you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going to happen, this and that. But that conversation starts with the connection you're creating first. If I send an email and it's full of information, you're like, wow, I didn't ask for this, but thank you. The time you actually have a conversation with this person, they don't feel like you're a stranger, because you feel like you've poured into their life. You've poured into their mental capacity to actually see something beyond just their imagination of just one thing happening. So you have to think about the goal. Why is it a sweet email marketing strategy? Because it's sweet, because if you like sweet things, you're going to enjoy it, right? You want to have you want to have sweet tea. You want to have, if some people have a sweet tooth, right? I have a sweet tooth. So, like, if you have something that is going to give somebody a sweet feeling, then what is that sweet sensation going to feel like? When you send an email and that email is really important to them, and they can click here, hey, you're signed up. Now click here. Now they get in, now they're connected. Yesterday I sent a workflow, and I'm having a meeting later on today. Yeah, actually in the next 3 hours. And I checked, because I got a notification on my phone. Somebody booked a call, and I said, okay, this is nice. It happened yesterday when I got back, and then it happened again today, this morning. So I'm like, huh, okay, emails. Because when you send an email, people think, oh, you're gonna send an email, and then you just start having like a whole cash flow of sales, like that. Like, it just keeps happening every time. Yes, it keeps happening, but imagine if it's stronger on the receiving end, when the amount of information that they've allowed to actually get into their base is so profound, it's so intense, it's so heavy, that they just have to reach out to you, because now they actually need your help. So this person that reached out needs help with Pinterest. And I'm like, okay, I can see even in the text, I was like, okay, this person really is here for Pinterest. That's the main, that's the agenda. That's the milestone. And I'm like, perfect. This is a holiday season. So I know why Pinterest is a big place to be right now. And we can definitely get there because you can target by zip code. So if you're in a certain area and you have a billboard, you have, a podcast, you have good email flow, you have good connections, then the people you're connecting with will find your information sweet enough for them to tune in. If it's a sweet tune, have you heard of Shawn Michaels, Sweet Chin Music? Like when you think about the goal you're creating, right? You have to think about the vibe. Like what is the goal? What is the standard? What is the idea? What is the ideology? Some people say, oh yeah, I can't, do this, do that. If you can or you can't, you're right. That is a classic Henry Ford quote. If you can, you will. If you can't, you won't. That's the 0-1 base formula, because the energy you exert is based on the mentality that you put in. If you want to reach the finish line, you're going to push yourself to the finish line, right? If you're not, then you're just going to fall off. I was watching this TikTok video yesterday. For some reason, this girl was on the opposite side of the escalator, and she was trying to go up the escalator on a downward escalating machine. And she got to the top. She literally got to the top. I saw it on TikTok. I was just like, oh my goodness. Everybody was chanting, screaming, yeah, go, 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 go. Like she was actually doing in the beginning, it felt like, okay, she's actually gonna do it. It was a long one. You know, the ones at the mall that are really long, that are like on two sides, but each side is going the opposite direction. That's where she was at. And it was like, oh, this is looking good. At the top was a food court. So everybody started looking down. She's like, oh, cheering her on, cheering her on. I was like, okay, yeah, she's gonna get to the top. She had like probably 3 or 4 steps before she got to tip top, like before she could actually stand on her 2 feet and start to walk. Guess what? She sat down and she just went down the escalator. Like it just became a whole mess. And I was like, you had 3 seconds to change that boo to a yay, but it didn't happen. That's the story of something I saw. And I was like, wow, you could have finished that to the finish line. And the boos were louder than the yays, which was a crazy thing. If you look at the comments, it was crazy. I'll find that video on TikTok and I'll send it to you guys. I'll see if I can get it. It's it's just the thought of it alone. When you hear a story like that, you want to get to the finish line. Why am I giving this example? Put this example in the same format for emails. When you send an email today, tomorrow, you're like, nothing's happening. Like, okay, I sent an email today, then you send another email again. It sounds the same. It sounds the same. It sounds like you just wonder, like, is this mic on? And you realize you're not even like, you don't know what's going on the back end, but you're not grateful for what you're doing, like on the front end, if that makes sense. Because the back end is a great cornerstone for you to actually get information. Then from there, you're able to now send them emails on what they need. So for me, I know that on LinkedIn, people are looking for advertising services. So what's the best thing to talk about right now in the holiday? Advertising. Everybody wants to advertise their product. Where? Anywhere. How? That's up to them. Budget? That's on them. What am I giving you? Information. I'm like, you can do it here. You can do it on a billboard. You can do it on Pinterest. You can do it on a podcast. You can do it with a QR code. You can do it at a mall. You can do it at the airport. You can do it at a restaurant. You can do it at a food court. You can do it at a pharmacy. You can do it at a dental office. You can do it at a billboard in front of a highway, on a freeway. Like you can do it wherever you want to. You can do it on Facebook. You can go to YouTube. I mean, the options are endless. Even TikTok now has search ads, and they're competing with Google now when it comes to Google ads. So you can be anywhere you want to, but guess what? If that traffic is not converting to leads, if you're not acquiring content, if you're not acquiring contacts, then I don't know. We have to think about it differently. When you look at your analytics, are your analytics going up or down? And if it's going down, it means that you didn't start on good soil. It's supposed to go up. Even if it goes up by 2 impressions or by 5 impressions, it's better than none. Half a loaf of bread is better than none, right? So if you are getting that one impression, it means that one person cares about the one thing you said. And if you can cater to that one person's need, then you can get that one sale that you're looking for that's going to make that one impact that you're trying to make. It's like a simple formula, but we complicate the system. I don't think we would be where we are today if it wasn't for emails. Even businesses, I don't think there would be, even when you join a bit, when you have a job, they give you an official email address, a corporate email address, so that you can have it in a workstation, in a workplace, right? That's how important it is. It's going to be your name at yourcompany.com, right? So why are we ignoring that major impactful decision maker? That's when you sign up to Clubhouse, you signed up with an email or a phone number. You signed up with something to authenticate your protection online. So when you sign up, did you sign up? Yes. Okay, that's you. Is this you? No. Okay, let's find out what happened. You don't want it to get there. So you're doing this because you're building connections. So when somebody signs up to your email list, they're signing up because they want to learn something about what you're talking about. Like for me, I look at podcasting as the biggest arm that really stretched us as a business. I don't think a podcast, without the podcast, it wouldn't be at this level, because I realized that with the podcast, you're able to talk to more people at a larger stretch. And that way you don't have to say the same thing twice. That's the best part, because I've said it now. It's in a podcast, it's on a show. You can listen to it, you can rewind, you can rewind, you can rewind, you can rewind. I don't have to say it a second time for you to repeat, to hear what I said the first time. So that act of service, and I think it's a love language. That's what I got to figure out. I was like, it's actually an act of service, because an act of service is a love language. So if I'm serving with my actions, and my actions are for the good of the community, of the people, of the person who I'm talking to, then I feel more connected to this person because I also care about where they want to be, right? Just for the company now, I'm like, okay, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google, Clubhouse, Microsoft. That's how we get leads. That's how, it just happens. We don't run ads to say, hey, sign up today. It's organic. Like if I give you a budget of how much we've spent on ads in a year, I don't think that number can go above, maybe I would say four zeros. I don't think you can even hit that, because we don't do that, because it's simply organic, and organic is good. Simply organic is simple. Let me say it like that, right? You want to eat organic food, you're going to look for organic products, organic produce, right? If you want to pay for the produce, you're probably going to pay premium, but you're going to get something that's still as good as the organic. You're not looking for a lesser quality, you're looking for more convenience. So if your traffic is not even conveniencing enough to keep them, how are you going to build that relationship with them over time? That is the biggest question I like to ask people, because yes, we connect with people. We want to make sure that you are getting traffic, but that traffic also has to lead to sales. It has to lead to referrals. It has to lead to affiliates. It has to lead to partnerships. It has to lead to something, dividends, whatever it is, royalties, certificates, assets. It has to lead to something tangible that you can actually qualify and justify. But without that, I don't know. We have to look at it a little differently. So that's why I'm big on doing email marketing is huge. And we use Flowdesk. Flowdesk is an email marketing platform that I took on thanks to the podcast as well, because I met a lady, her name is Emily Myrick. Shout out to her, on LinkedIn back in 2019, when this is like my first year in podcasting. And I reached out. I was like, "Hey, I want to, let's get on my show and talk about it." In fact, you know what? I'm a roll the dice back. Let me go to the actual. Let me go to the show because we're actually gonna do this. So it's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back in time, and I'm gonna go to Emily Myrick's episode. I'm going to the website right now. Boom, found it. July 1st, 2020. Yeah, that was July. I was in my first year, like right before my first year. I'm gonna change the link at the top. I'll bring it back. The replays are on. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Boom. This episode, Emily Myrick, she is the one that told me about Flowdesk. And we're talking about understanding email marketing. So this episode is just perfect because it's gonna take you back in time. This is July 1st, 2020. And it was intentionally cut to length. I remember doing this episode. This is one of my, I could say, Hall of Fame episodes because it was a very, very intentional episode where we were able to really base a lot of things too. So yeah, this episode will give you some insights, and I'm also going to give you the Apple copy, if that makes sense, so that you can also check this out. Emily Myrick. It's so great when you can do SEO and you can find your own, your own episodes on a show, especially when you're creating content and you're literally finding it online. Yeah, it was a bonus episode. Boom, I found it. So I'm gonna put it as well at the top of the room. Actually, I'll put it in the chat so that you can have. There we go. All right, so I put it in the chat. So in case you want to listen to it on Apple, you can listen to it there. That was July 1st, 2020 at 4:40. That was the 25th episode of the show. This was 19 minutes long, and yeah, this was really, really nice. Like, if I think about this conversation and where we are now in 2024, going to 2025, so much has changed. So I started off with Flowdesk. She gave me her promo code. I signed up for it. She got a commission, and then I signed up for it. And till date, let me actually go to my account so I can tell you guys what has been happening, because I don't really give numbers with business, but I think I'm going to start doing that very soon, especially on LinkedIn, just because it just makes sense to have it there. So we've been able to, out of 31 referrals that we gave this to, one of them is currently in a trial. There were 60 referrals. So, and we don't usually not all clients, we tell them about it because sometimes they have their own systems and sometimes they don't even have the system. So we help them with the system. Hey, Carrie, so I don't refer it to everyone, but the ones who need it, they get it. So there are about 60 referrals. One of them is in trial right now, and there are 28 expired trials. And there are 31 conversions, which means 31 businesses out there from this one episode you see up here are using Flowdesk today. 31 businesses out there that we've referred this to, just in general. That's a lot of companies, right, that are actively paying this. I'm looking at them right now, and they are currently using it for their business. Literally, I'm literally looking at all of them right now. All the emails, there are 31, and they're all using it. So, and you think about it, one of them is in Bosnia and has I don't know how to say that full name, but he's in a country in Europe. There people are doing things in different areas. One of them is in Canada too. So when you think about the platforms that you're using, and you're also thinking about the time you're investing and saving in other businesses, like, you have to think about those long-term things, right? Because email marketing is sweet when somebody can actually receive the information that they actually expected. If I sent you an email about jackets and you didn't sign up for jackets, you're going to unsubscribe. You may not even like jackets, so I don't want to make you unsubscribe for something that I caused. So the last thing you want to do is have someone unsubscribe. But if they do, that's also a good intention and a good way to know that they were not there in the first place for the intention of being there, or they got what they wanted and they've gone. So you can't force someone to resubscribe. And don't feel bad. Some people feel like, oh man, what happened? It's just business. But at the same time, don't feel like, unless it's something you really said, that you know you said, then you of definitely you see the result. But if it's not like a big thing, then don't worry about it. So thinking about Flowdesk and why I'm even bringing this Flowdesk up in the first place is because Flowdesk allows you to get to know the status of your subscribers. The status of your subscribers is very important because you can have 10,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 100 subscribers, and you don't know who's active and who's not. The last email that I sent in general, the last email that was sent in general to everyone, when did we send it? October 14th. When was that? That was, yeah, that's last Monday. That was last Monday. And we've sent about, let's see, one, two, three more emails, and then the fourth one, because some people wanted to, we've talked about the package we have right now. It's a 3-month special for SEO and just making sure you're ready for 2025. And it's been really exciting because, since this week kicked off, yeah, that's what we've been doing. Just because it's a limited number and we don't want to, we want to make sure we give you 100% quality. So it's been very exciting to see. And just looking at those number of emails that have just been sent, right? Out of those, the last person that was active was somebody on iHeartMedia.com. And I won't mention his name, but someone there is at 10:06 a.m. And right now it's 10:35 a.m. Central. So that's the person that was last active. So if I now do last active in the last 30 days, right? We have a list. Let me actually tell you. We have a list. Our list is about 7,000. Yeah, we have about 7,000 on the list. We're still growing. And let me see. Active in the last 30 days. Okay. All right. So there are 34. So 3,934 people, right? 3,934 people out of about 7,000 and some change. That's about tipping over 56% of active subscribers. Now, how am I going to know they're active? Because it tells me that they're active. And if I click on the most active person, okay, somebody just went active right now. As we were speaking as literally we were speaking, I talked about somebody from iHeart, somebody else from another, somebody else has just come active now. So she's just, she's the latest person. So I'm gonna go to her because she just signed literally 10:36, now it's 10:37. So when I go to the segments, I can see which segments that she's in. So she's interested in LinkedIn, she's interested in hotels, she's interested in podcasts, she's interested in events, she's interested in blogs, she's interested in SEO services, and she's also interested in workshops. How do I know that? When you send out emails, you have to make sure that you can sub segment your segment, because if you don't know what you're sending or how you're sending, how you even connect with this person. I don't want to say, hey, do you like AI? And she's nowhere in her segments does it say AI. But I know she likes Pinterest. I know she likes Pinterest events. I know she likes Clubhouse articles. I know she likes local ads. I know she likes SEMrush. I can see those things because when I send emails, you put in those buckets with Flowdesk. So when you put in those buckets, you're able to know out of these thousands of people, how do I really connect to the one person or the one group or the one audience or the one set of people? That's why they say segmenting is very important for emails. You can't just be sending mass emails every time. Yes, it's great, but you have to segment your emails. In a year, how many segmented emails have you sent? How many workflow emails have you sent? And how many broadcast emails have you sent? That's why even businesses, we've worked with companies too, where you send emails to the stakeholders and you also send an email to the community. So there are two types of emails. Maybe those are roundups. So we've seen all kinds of emails, at whatever capacity. So when you see those things, you got to know what do they want? I know she wants digital courses. I can see that too. And then when I see what she's uniquely clicked on, right? I can see the last thing that she clicked on is the services. So she's probably trying to figure out, okay, is this the time to do it? Is this the time to do it? What will I do? This is what I would do with email marketing, right? Because sometimes people think the mic is off or it's not working. I find email marketing one of the sweetest places for marketing. the sweetest spots for marketing. Because if you have email marketing down pat, you can really connect with your audience at a deep level that you even know what music they like. Like it get you like you do that. Okay, they like coffee, they like juice, they like soda, they like water, they like alkaline water, they like whatever, they like therapy, they like this, they like that. You know those things that they like to do, right? Because those things is what makes them who they are. So when you connect to those kind of people, you get to really connect at a deep level. So what do? I'm like, okay, I'm actually going to do this with you as we speak. So this is a person that has been active the most. No, not really the most, but the last activity was just a minute ago, 3 minutes now. So I'm going to go to LinkedIn and I'm going to search for her name. I'm searching right now. I'm typing it and let me see. Boom, found it. She's a chief administrative officer. Okay, I'm not even going to go to too much detail, but I'm going to follow her. I'm going to connect it on LinkedIn and follow it on LinkedIn. Okay, boom. So now what I've just done is, and I can see the company, I can see she's been present for over 20 years and like she's there. It's legit. It's on LinkedIn, right? Now it's not a contact that I just have as a sender. Now what I've just done is in a span of 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, I've connected with her because when I send an email these days, I'm like, okay, I can send it as a broadcast email and everyone gets the message. If it's a podcast, it'll be different. But if it's from me, I want to make sure that you also connect with me so that when I also connect with you on the platform I mentioned, it doesn't feel like a strange connection. Because sometimes people feel like it's cold email marketing when you send out an email. It's cold. It's cold because you get no response. But if it's warm when somebody accepts the response or actually accepts the invitation. So that acceptance, when you RSVP yes, it means that you are interested. You may not show up, but you're interested, which means that there's an interest. So next time you might show up, you might bring a friend or two. So you don't even know what angle to come from, but the engagement in itself is because the relationship starts from the base. So what I just did, I've connected with this lady and she's gonna accept or decline. If she accepts it, I'll send a message on LinkedIn and say, hey, thank you so much for connecting with me. And I also thank you for being on our email list. And I hope you're doing well. How can I help you today? That way, we've now turned it from it being just email marketing to email engagement outside the email platform. Like from email to LinkedIn to Zoom to a handshake. That's where we want to go. That's the kind of trust we want to build. That's the kind of connections we want to sustain. Because sustainability with email marketing is showing up and actually being intentional. Because when you do those things, you don't even know that they may actually need you for something. This is a big business. I'm looking at it right now. It's an organization. So I'm like, okay, let's connect. That one client, you're helping thousands of people at one go with a push of a button. It's not just, oh, we're just sending emails. We're sending intentional emails. I've been talking about billboards. I've been talking about holiday marketing. I've been talking about LinkedIn. There's a podcast. So you can listen to me. So even if I send you a voice message, it sounds the same as a podcast episode. It sounds the same as how my tone is on email. So it becomes personal now. It becomes very emotionally inclined. It becomes very semantic. Because if I know out of the 78 emails that I've sent her, she's clicked 184 times and she's opened 76 of those emails and she's clicked 72 times. So that's a huge, she has a lifetime open rate of 97.4% and a lifetime click rate of 26.9%. And she's been active on this email list for the past, 1 year, September 22nd, 2023. And today is October 22nd, 2024. This is a year later. We're connecting. So I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm not really giving you like gems or anything. This is literally like real life. So I want you to try it yourself. I want you to see it for yourself because these things I'm saying are real. We have to keep testing. We can't just be looking. We have to test. We have to really figure out, is this really what we want? Is this how we want it to be? So email marketing is a huge thing. You have to think about it. You have to think about where you are going as a business, who you want to connect with for business. Because there's a time that's coming that you'll be looking for someone to help with your website, with something, and It's going to be hard. Yeah, you can find anybody, but the right person to really fit that in or even connect you to the person is something that you don't want to miss out on, because opportunities come once in a lifetime. You know how they say it? It can come in another way, but it's not going to be the same way it came and presented itself. So this is the time. I've connected with her a year later. Now I can actually have a conversation with her and it won't feel strange. She'll be like, okay, I've been getting your emails. I see you on LinkedIn. I can see your profile. Like, you can actually see who this is. So it's not like guesswork. Like, I know, I've talked to Derek before. I've met Carrie before. I've, talked with Ty before. It's a pleasure to also connect with In. I've not spoken with Wally before. I've not spoken with David, but I know they're great people. When we do get to connect, then we'll be able to see what we can come up with, right? So it's those connections that over time bring in the value, because value is exchanged over time, right? So if I impress you the first time, then does that impression last, or does that impression burn? If it burns, how do you build that? And it's going to be harder to build someone's trust and then lose it. You'd rather not even start, because that's just going to be worse. You're going to be in a worse, you'll be in a deficit. Let me put it that way. It will be regressive. So building connections with people intentionally is not because because I connected with her on LinkedIn, I want her to work with us. No, it's because I want to make a connection and know, what am I showing you, or what am I not saying enough on the emails that I can say more of, that will make you feel satisfied? Because you've not unsubscribed yet. So you're still getting emails, you're still opening emails, right? It doesn't mean that you're going to open every email or you're not going to engage with every email. But the fact that you're actually receiving it, you know the name, you know the brand, you know what we stand for, you know what we do, we're active, we still get, proposals, we still get requests. That's why I say we don't run ads, because I don't see the reason to run ads to connect with clients or to do that when it's happening organically. It's happening simply organically. We've had organic responses, for a long time now, and it's a beautiful thing, because I'm like, wow, is this how things are done? Okay, this is how things are done. This is how we're able to connect, and that's how we're able to do things on a consistent basis, right? That's how we're able to do it. This year alone, we've helped 52 businesses. 52. I'm looking at the numbers right now. Last year we did 65. 2022 we did 53. And yeah, I won't keep going back. But yeah, I'll just give the last 2, 3 years. Yeah, so 2022 we did 53 by the end of the year. 2022 end of year 53. 2023 end of year 65. And 2024 is not over yet and we're at 52. So between 65 and 52, right, is about 13. And right now, where we are, because I like to document this so that you also you don't hear this all the time, but it's also good to kind of give this insight so that when people want to work with us, this is what they listen to. And I'm really glad I'm able to be very transparent with it. Right now, we have the opportunity for you to work with us at a flat rate at $1,000 only for 3 months, one time. And what that is technically giving you is our base level SEO package, which is normally $500 a month. So you're saving $500. And on top of that, you're getting installed systems that allow you to start tracking data that you can actually use as intellectual property, that we can start analyzing and auditing to make sure that you're competitive at a high scale, at a high level, with the connections and the businesses that you're connecting with long term. So within those 3 months, October, November, December, because after October it's closed. And then we're now waiting for January, because since this week started, last week it's just been back to back. So we're seeing new businesses are actually signing up, new businesses are actually getting more information, and it's happening. So I just don't want you to wait last minute, because it's not a lot of them. So what we're doing now, and this is including also, hey Nikki, welcome back, D, is also churches as well. And for me, it's like, okay, how do we help more churches get more visibility so that they can also be seen on the screens, on the billboards? So I'm really going there. like even training digital teams, training kids, kids usually in like the media department. How do we teach the kids? How do we like train them and not just go live on YouTube and Facebook, but what happens between Monday and Saturday? People could just go on Sunday. So between Monday and Saturday, what are we doing? Are we building? Are we creating? How are we, jotting down notes from summer notes using AI, using Opus, just being very open, because we know this thing on Clubhouse, but people out there don't even know these things. Like, you guys should be happy. Like, I'm grateful to be here because I learned from so many amazing people in this space. And I also learn, from people on LinkedIn. I learn from other people. So I stay learning. If I know everything, I know nothing, right? So I need to always learn, always be learning, always keep improving, because there's always something new. Like, yesterday's information is not today's information. It could still be evergreen, but it's evergreen because it's planted, it's watered, it's nurtured. Nurturing is a consistent thing. So when you nurture someone, when you nurture something, you're nurturing out of love, out of care. That TLC has to be there. So yeah, this year is 52. So I'm grateful, because as long as we hit 50, I'm happy. That's great. Because if we're doing it and we're connecting with people and they actually see it, then okay, cool. So when you do those things, sometimes you wonder, okay, how do you even connect with these people? How do you even work with them? How do you know that they actually need the service? But you don't know if they need the service until it's requested. So when it's requested and asked for, that's when we're able to now give that impression and say, okay, this is what it is. So it's not easy, but trust me, the road at the end of the tunnel is so beautiful, because you can really connect with people large and wide. Pinterest is where it's at now. So the person who booked a call, yeah, he's definitely big on Pinterest from what I've seen. Because I'm like, okay, I've looked at the details, and I'm like, okay. And then how let me just put it this way. This morning, because I woke up around 3 a.m., I've been up early, and then I've been trying to fight time zones because I've been flying everywhere. But now, when I'm up, I'm trying to get everything together and, put things in order, pray, make sure that, the day's set right. And I look at my connection and I'm seeing, okay, I see a meeting on my, hey, Julie, I see a meeting on my calendar. I'm like, huh, okay. So I check in to see what the person wants. I see Pinterest. I'm like, huh, okay. So I was like, okay, this person wasn't in the room. This person wasn't online. This person wasn't on LinkedIn. Where is this person? So my first thought was, maybe let me go to the email, because that's probably where that email or that link came from. So I typed in my email, I typed the name. I was like, oh, that's the name. I was like, okay, bingo. So I knew that it came from there. And then I was able to understand, okay, who the person is, because somebody can sign up with you and not reach out to you a year later. It's happening. That person was last active on the email September 22nd. Today is October 22nd, and I got an email. So that just says something. I'm seeing Pinterest and AI workshops. The person signed up August 4th. That's when the person signed up to this email list. August 4th. Today's October 22nd. So, and they were last active a month ago, exactly a month ago. So this is to tell you that email marketing works. I don't have to send an email every day to catch your attention or to grab your attention. That email alone is enough to send a signal, because when you start reading those numbers, it starts to change the room. Welcome, John. Good to have you here. The whole idea of creating businesses and creating insights is so that people can actually connect with you. They want to connect with you. If you look at your analytics and you ask yourself, how many people have you got in the last 30 days? How many leads have you acquired in the last 30 days? And organically, I don't mean that you went online and you did something. It happened organically through interactions, through past progresses, through things that you've been able to create over time, through evergreen, linkages. You have URLs that are linking people to different domains. How do they receive it? Where do they go? What time do they receive them? And if you're also getting unsubscribes, how many are they? They have to balance, right? For us in the last 30 days, we've had 20 unsubscribes and we've had 85 new subscribers. So we've replaced the 20 and we have 65 more. That's organically. So, and the month is not over yet. So it's that consistency and just making sure, hey, yes, people will keep coming, keep going, but the people that will stay are the people who need to be here. And that's the people you need around. You don't want everyone to be there. You want the right people to be there for the right reason. So you're also not wasting their time either. So it's a big factor to consider when you think about the long term effect. Welcome, John. Love to hear your thoughts about the room. And please let us know if you have any insights.
The number one insight, and by the way, love the room. I'm kind of multitasking. I say this all the time. I'm not doing it very well, but there's so many tips. I use email marketing. I use constant contact. I sent an email yesterday to listeners of my show. I also use the email feature, the newsletter, and LinkedIn that has almost 6,000 subscribers. I sent out an email of a new episode of the show, the podcast version of the show, almost twice a week, and it does well. It's a great way to keep in touch. And here's the thing that we talked about yesterday. Um, Using a fishing analogy, you've always got to be chumming, throwing in bait to attract the fish you're looking for. If you're not putting the content out there, then how are people finding you? That's the thing that I would say. So instead of looking at email marketing or SEO or socials as another task, another thing to do, which it is, look at it as a way of expanding your influence, expanding your reach, and all good things take time, and they take concerted effort. So thank you so much, Favor.
Thank you, John. That's amazing. I love that you mentioned that. Yeah, it takes time. Emails take time. Like you have to be patient with the process. And I think when somebody sees that you're patient with the process, they'll actually want to work with you more because they can see how patient you are with them. Because people don't like being impatient. Like they just don't want to see that. They'd rather not have you in the room than you being impatient with them. So that is a big thing. Thank you so much for that, John. Julie, we'd love to hear your thoughts too. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen, and hey, everybody there in the listening lounge. So, your question, I just want to make sure I answer the correct question as opposed to just talking about some nonsense that I can easily do.
So the
Here we
question
go.
is, how do you see email marketing just for the purpose of engaging with people, not for a sale, but for
Yeah.
the attention and retention base?
Okay. So, email marketing is super important. I'm going to tell you, I sent out email, I think Sunday night. I believe Sunday night, yes. And I know if you open my email, and depending on how you do it, if you do through Constant Contact, MailChimp, I do it through MailChimp and Wix. And my open rate, I'm just looking right now, was 44%. And that's pretty good, I think. But I make sure I'm not sending it to all the wrong people either. Really, when you send out the email, make it as hyper personalized as possible and segment it out, meaning know who you're talking to, because if not, you'll just be get an unsubscribe, which is great. Like every time I send out an email, I get an unsubscribe. I have about 7,000 on my email list right now, and I get unsubscribes every single time. So don't let that hurt your feelings. But then look at the analytics. What is the open rate? So 44% open rate is really good. Then the click rate, could be better, 2%. I think 2% is like the norm, but really for what I'm doing, I would like a 5% open click rate, meaning they click, you put active links in your email. How can you engage them? Are you sending them content that they're actually interested in? Think about your behavior when you open an email. I A lot of times I get emails and I'm just like delete, 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 unsubscribe. But if something really catches my attention, I'm going to read it. I'm going to become a big fan. And I look forward to some of the emails I do get. And I'm just like thinking, this is just an example. As I'm looking at my email, I get Ramon Ray sends out a great email, and he has tons of links to actionable blogs, actionable things on his website. He's getting me to his website, number one. Number two, he really states that you reply to this email because I will actually answer it. I'm actually a human answering it, which I think is genuine, and it's something that we all should do. We should stop taking all AI. I mean, automations are great, but there has to be a human element in these emails too. So if you're just generating AI emails, it's okay. A lot of people won't connect with it. That's the one great thing about being a human, is that we connect with people. Robots and AI, you can't connect. So those are my thoughts and the reasons why I send emails, and the reason why I read certain emails. I want it to help me because I'm very selfish in terms of reading emails. So I hope that helped. I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't talk too long, but I'm passionate about it.
Thank you, Julie. No, that was spot on. I appreciate that. You're right. You have to think about the people you're sending the emails to, because intentionally they're receiving those emails. And if they're not receiving the emails in the way you want them to, then they'll unsubscribe, and then you're the one that's on the losing end. They may be losing out on information, but you're losing out on connection, which is important. And I think that's the base, which really gives a lot of people the reason why they keep coming back. And if you're knowing that they're creating that connection, that also builds that intention. Now, Julie, you said something about the click rate. I want to just go back there a little bit, because with click rate, one of the things I've seen is it could be two factors. One could be the DNS records because of the SPF. I don't want to go into all those details, but just the authentication of the emails. And sometimes the providers, the ESP, the email service providers, may have that because they also have servers. When we think about these email platforms, like I know John uses Constant Contact, Julie with MailChimp, I use Flowdesk. Those are three different companies, three different entities, three different businesses, but they are doing amazingly well. They do tremendously well. They have their own servers, they have their own hosting, they have their own, everything is different. So if you're also trying to make sure that you're looking at the furthest end, which is the end user on the receiving end, then there's some factors that are placed in. That first one is those DNS records. The second one is, the links and how they're also segmented them, through the pages. If you have social links, that's a great way to have your social links with your emails. Because if you have those social links, people can actually click through them. There was a time somebody sent me an email. It was so random. It was totally unrelated, but I was like, this is actually cool to see sometimes. When I sent out an email and someone sent me a message back and said, "Oh, I didn't know you do music, Favor." I was like, "Yeah, I do. I don't talk about it much," but they were able to, check my Apple Music. They saw my Spotify. They saw my videos on YouTube. They're like, "Oh, wow, you're actually a full musician." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't talk about it much, but it's available for you to see, because that also adds to the interest." With podcasts, right now we're getting to the end of the year, and you're going to see the Wrapped 2024 Wrapped. So you're going to see all the music styles, all the genres, all the things. I'm excited about those things because it helps you set the tone for the new year. If you have music in the background, how does that help? How does it give you that sauce, that style? So emails is big, and sending out those emails to podcasts, to shows, to links, to events, that does a really great deal for you long term. So I'm thinking, for you, Julie, emails and the click rates, is it because you're putting one link, or is it because, maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to think out loud when it comes, because we can raise that number up to even 5%, but I'm just trying to see what could be in the middle.
I had several links. And Favor, did you get my email, by the way? I don't think you opened it, but yeah. So I
Oh,
mean, it's all about you too, Favor, because you're speaking at CreativeCon, but that's here nor there. I have several links, and most of them go back to the website. But I was also trying to give a lot of quality in terms of how to really grow your business and brand with certain tips and tricks, as opposed to just asking people, hey, buy a ticket, buy this, do this. That's integrated there, but it's people in my audience want to learn how to grow their business, how to become successful, how to get that to leverage their expertise. So, I talked about understanding your your value proposition, package your offerings, social media, network like a pro, and how to create multiple streams of income. And how to track your analytics. It's very basic, but I want them to learn more. I want to plant the seed for them. And I put a bunch of links. I put a video. I put branded content and pictures. So I don't know why the open rate's only 1% right now. It could be because I sent it on a Sunday night. I'm not sure that's the best night to do it, but I could get it done. I could have scheduled it, but I get trigger happy and just go, I'm like, go, go. So that might be it when I sent it.
Okay. I'm noticing something. Okay. So I'm looking at the proxy server right now, just a little bit. I'm going a little bit into this techie space, and I'm seeing that the it's because you said two things actually, Wix and Mailchimp. So with Wix too, they have a great email platform, but also when you think of the servers too, that could also be a factor as well. So like as you were speaking, Julie, I went back in because I put a star on your email because the time it was sent. Was that the one for last week, the 14th?
No, it was the 20th,
Okay, so I'm on the wrong one
unless
because
unsubscribed. I don't think so.
not me. Let me see. I don't see it because I looked at the start ones. Okay. Oh, I see. That's the one. Okay, that's okay. There's two. All right. So there's a second one. So this one has
One was
okay.
personalized just to the speakers to notify the speakers, and the other one was for my mass emailing list.
I see. Okay, so I'm putting a star on this one too, because okay, I see this now. So now I'm actually looking at it, and my
Hey, I made you like an admin too on my website, but I don't think you ever accepted because you were gonna help me out with this stuff. LOL.
I've seen it. I've seen it. I have seen it. It's actually the email that you sent, the first one, the one we had a conversation on the phone on. That one, that first one, I did not get that one. I did not see it. So it probably, I'm actually looking at it right now. I don't see it. The first one for, because I always put a star on it, but I don't see that invitation.
I'll do it
Could you
again.
please do it again? I'm looking at it right now, so I'm gonna make sure I can see that as we're on the call.
Okay.
This is gonna
Well,
be done in
this is
real
gonna be
time.
good, and I'm gonna get a butt whooping, right? Okay, let me see.
We're doing this in real time right now. I'm in my inbox all the way in, so I'm gonna be watching to see that pop
Okay,
up.
so your email is what? Favor
So it's favor at playinc.online.
Play Inc. Dot online. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna send an invite.
This is real time, guys.
All right, you have the power to shut this down too. Now you have so much power right now.
No, I won't go too deep into it, but I just want to receive it. Okay, boom, it just came in now. So accept invite.
Guys, I mean, I'm putting myself on the hot seat right now. So we'll see. Like I love sending out emails. I really get excited about it, but maybe I'm doing something wrong. I have no idea.
It's loading. Okay, I'm in now. Boom. All right. Thank you for sending that because I did not see that. So now I'm in. So I'm about to go. I don't know where you want me to
You
start, but
scroll down and you can see the podcast. I sent it out to 3,000. I didn't send it to the whole list. I sent it out to 3,000 people. Um,
oh, I see. I see it.
it's
Okay.
the secret to growing your business now.
I see it. Okay. So, huh. This is serious. Okay. So one thing I've noticed is you have I won't mention the number, but if you go into the statistics, right under where it says delivery statistics, you're going to see two sections. So that first section that has a number on it, we need to delete those people because or archive them because that's also hurting your click rate score. Because when you have bounced emails, because there are two types of bounces, there's soft bounce and there's hard bounce. So when you have a soft bounce, it means that either that person has not probably paid their subscription because there's a Google Workspace or a Microsoft Outlook and they've not paid it. So that's not on you, that's on them. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing is a hard bounce when it keeps happening all the time and it never responds. So that could be either or. And if you see the same name keep coming, then you got to take them off. So now I'm seeing them, and there's a good number of them, which is higher than the number of people who clicked it. So that also hurts the click rate. So when you're having
Oh,
like a you see, yeah. So that changes the scope. Yes, you have a high delivery rate of 98%, but those 47 people are hurting the 3,000 plus. It's hurting the capacity. It's hurting. It could be 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, right? But if those 47 keep coming back, it keeps like eating into the pile, if that makes sense.
well, it makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to everybody else who's not looking at it.
Yeah, we'll talk about this later, Jill, but I'm in now. Just wanted to make sure we have this in
Right.
real time.
Yeah,
So this is big go.
think about, being, I love that. Hang on, I have to do something.
I love it. Question. I see Adam said something because sorry guys, we're deep into this. I didn't even see the chat moving. Yes, I've been flying for months, Julie. So you probably did. I just probably did not see it, but I saw it as soon as you sent it. So I wanted to make sure I have it all in. So we're good. Adam said, even with email messages, talk to people as though you're speaking to them, sitting at a coffee shop, for example, having a friendly conversation. Yeah. And then Ifani, yes, I'm going to do an SEO checkup. I'll do yours as well. Okay. So Adam said something, and I want to dive a little bit deeper into this segment. Hmm, how am I going to put this?
Wait, why are you saying,
Because I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly, and I don't want to detour the conversation. I want it to be very specific to the context of the question or the comment that Adam made. When you have a friendly conversation with somebody on an email, the tone matters. The tone matters. There are three things you have to think about when you think of headlines, but you also have to think about them as copy. One is the semantics. Two is the sentimental value. And three is the SEO. People will say, why is SEO not first? It has to make sense. Semantics, it has to make sense. Like it has to reason. It has to, like, there has to be some type of relevance, affinity. There has to be a correlation between the two. It's 11:11 a.m. Central right now. And I keep saying 11:11 every time, when you create the intention, right, to connect with someone from a conversation to a conversion, it depends on the actual pages that are driving the traffic that lead to the sale. I've said three key things: traffic, lead, sale. Those are the three things everybody's looking for: traffic, leads, sales. Traffic, leads, sales. Traffic. If there's no traffic, who are you talking to? If there are no leads, who are you selling to? So if you're not selling, then who's listening? So you have to think about the cycle. You have to think about the connections, whether it's coming from LinkedIn, TikTok, Pinterest, Google, anywhere. It has to keep keep the match happening. Like there has to be something that is in resonance, right, completely. So if I'm running, I'll give you an example. If I'm running an advertisement on a billboard and I'm using this billboard to connect with this person, the place I'm using this billboard, or the place I'm going to message this person, that has a QR code where they can actually scan for the next 15 seconds, is very important for them to see. Because when somebody is at a restaurant eating and you look up and you see a really nice beverage that is not on the menu, that you can see up there, but you can scan the code. You're like, oh, I like that flavor. Okay, that's kiwi flavor, or that's pineapple, or that's mango. Oh, I like that. You're at the restaurant, but you're advertising your product at the food court. You're not a vendor. You're not a business at the mall. You don't have anything to do with it, but you're in there, right in the center, right in the focal point, and you're advertising to these people, right? These people are listening to you, or they're reading what you're saying because they're like, okay, this makes sense. You have a drink company or you have a juice company. Now it's making sense contextually. And if you tell them to leave their email address with you, you can send them the favorite flavors of the month. Now they're interested. That's a conversation that started from looking up to looking down on your phone to looking into your inbox. and looking outside to figure out where to get this thing. So you're looking at the full picture, the full scope, the full narrative. How are we connecting people through email? It's not just email marketing, email marketing. It starts off with connecting your website to the Google Search Console, and that's where it starts. I talked about it yesterday, how a company we worked with in 2019, they're called Modern Natured. Right now, they were even on Vogue magazine with Rihanna and ASAP when it first launched at that time. They do New York Fashion Week every year now in February, and she sells waist beads. She sells waist beads. And she was trying to figure out, oh, Favor, how do we sell these waist beads? I told her, just give me a year. Like, just give me time. She's like, I don't have a year. I'm like, you do. But I said, just give me a year. Let's connect this thing and let's see what happens. As I'm speaking to you now, this is 2024. She's gaining about 1 million impressions on her Google Search Console. 1 million impressions because she's been on different PR shows. She's been different networks. Her website is popping. She's making her sales. She's doing what she's doing. But that 1 year of investment led into all the things that she's in now. Because I was telling her, if you go to this New York Fashion Week next week and you're not on the Google Search Console, you're not capturing any data, you're not putting anything back into your own intellectual property, you're missing out on all these keywords and all these gems, all this intellectual proprietary information that you could acquire, which will now increase your business as an asset and overall give you a higher valuation of your business. So I said, you can't miss this. And now she has an email list. It's popping. She's doing what she's doing. She's great. She's having a great time. This is years down the line. If I give you a screenshot, before 2019 was a flat line. It was a flat line. This was pre-COVID, flat line. So when you look at the numbers now, it's an investment. SEO is not, oh, I'm just going to stick this on, I'm going to get traffic, and then I'm going to make sales. No, it's the growth. It's like credit. The more years you have credit history length, the more leverage you have, the more equity you have, the more leverage you can build, the more assets you can compare, the more things you can do. That's the same thing with email marketing. So I really love that you mentioned that, Adam. And thank you, D, as well. Now, I see Ifani has a, um, a website. I'm going to invite you up because I'm going to actually talk about it right now. I'm going to go to your website. I don't do this all the time, but when somebody asks a question, I want to make sure that I can, serve and be here and help you. So for those who also have a ticket, we're closing in on 350,000 members. We have 7 more people to join this club before we hit 350K members. So this is a great time, and I really hope that you're learning something as you're here and you're growing as well. So I'm going to go to your website. It's called waltoria.io. Okay. I don't do this all the time, but before I even do this, as I'm going into this thing, I wanted to ask you, John, what are your thoughts on this segment when it comes to that authenticity and building that relationship with people outside the sale?
The very first thing I would say is, and the technical stuff is important, but the first thing I would say is break it down. When you talk about email marketing, remember I used the analogy of chumming for the fish you want, putting out bait to track the people you want. So look at these metrics first. Number one, make sure the email address is deliverable. Favor made a great point. When you go to your analytics or delivery insights in each email, get rid of the bounces. Get rid of them. They will hurt you. The unsubscribes are not a big deal. You don't want to put addresses in your list that don't open your stuff, which we'll talk about later on, or bounce. So get rid of them. But the number one most important thing is make sure it's a deliverable address. Otherwise, it's wasted space and wasted time, wasted money. Then I would say, look at your open rates. That is the most important thing. From a branding perspective, the amount of people that open your content is the far most important thing because nothing can happen. You can't generate clicks if they don't open. If you do really long titles, more than 60 characters, and you put in keywords that go into spam filters, and you go into your spam folder or in their trash or whatever it might be, it's a wasted effort. It's a wasted opportunity. So the open is the most important thing. Getting people to be aware of your brand, your product, your service, whatever it be, is more valuable than them clicking on it. And the last, of course, is click. But we can go into it. You know, great job. Get rid of those bounces. Get rid of them. They'll hurt you every day.
Thank you so much, John. Yeah, it's a big deal. That's a big thing. I always, anytime I send an email, I always go and check in 24 hours before sending the next one, who's bouncing and who's unsubscribed. There's also another one marked as spam. So who's doing those things and how can you make sure that they're not there, right? Because if they're not there, it means that you're taking care of those things. And you may never even know that something is going on until something happens. And you're like, oh, wow, how did this happen? This morning, we just, started working with a client this morning and they're in the healthcare industry. We just set up their LinkedIn company profile. She's been working in the medical industry for over 25 years. Now she's wanting to do her own business and we're setting it up. And where did we meet? On an airplane. We met on an airplane. Like the thought of this crazy. We met on an airplane. She was going to see her grandkids and have a good time and all this stuff. And we spoke. And now it's like God just put us next to each other on the same seat, on the same aisle. And now we're connected. Now she's on her console. She's getting contracts from deals and for healthcare for 2025. She's doing her thing. But I told her, hey, before you go into these rooms, these meetings, the same thing I told the lady for the New York Fashion Week, Modern Nature, same thing I'm telling her now in 2024. Because in 2028, 2030, God willing, she'll be looking back at this morning that we had this call to install all the systems because those things are important. They may not look important now because it's just a connection. It's just a plug. When the lights are on, yeah, the lights are on. But when those lights are off, you know they're off. So we don't want to keep them off. We want to keep them on and on for years. So that's a bigger thing that we have to think about as well. So thank you so much for that, John. So I'm coming to you, Fanny, now. I've looked at your site and I've seen some things. So if you're here and please, I sent you a request if you're available to speak, or if you're not, please put in the chat. I'll definitely let you know and give you more insights. And for those who want to get on a call and as serious, I've seen one of them come in. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I'll definitely give you a call today. Thank you for that, Lisa. Appreciate you. I'll send you a message. So, okay, Ifan, you're not available at the moment, but we'll do at the top of the hour. Okay, let me see. How much time do we have today? At the top of the hour, I gotta go. So we have about 39 minutes to go because another client came in yesterday from LinkedIn, and she's 63 and she's literally like helping people with organic health and wellness tips, and she's pushing out information that send people to Amazon where they can actually buy the products. So she's only giving information, and she's getting her commission from Amazon, and she has amazing links. So it's beautiful. I'm learning more from clients than they learn from me. I learn about so much. So she signed up, and she's one of the people who have signed up for this 3 month special. So people are signing up, and I'm grateful for them because I really want people to see it. I want to connect things and make things work so that you can actually look back months later, years later, and actually think about the progress and the process that you had to go through to get to where you are. So, Ifani, let me look at this. So, first thing I noticed is this, and I'm going to make this about 10 minutes quick. First, probably less, but we'll see. I'll just spot things out really. The first thing I noticed is that your canonical tag is missing. Now, what is a canonical tag? A canonical tag, you guys can Google that too. A canonical tag simply tells the search engine, the keyword here is tell, because if you're not telling the search engine what to search for, then you're missing out on the whole bus. That's the thing about that intel. We think about SEO, but we forget CRO, conversion rate optimization. We forget about canonical tags. We forget about metadata. We forget about schema. These are things that I don't go too deep into here, but those are things that miss out. Liverpool's finest. What's up? Like you have to think about your business as someone who is also thinking about the community, because you have a great initiative. Great. I love the website. The stack is beautiful. It's very futuristic, by the way. I love it. It has a really unique style to it. So that's a big up to you. Now, technically, welcome Brian and Liverpool's finest. Canonical tags tell the search engine like Google, Alexa, Siri, Microsoft, the list goes on, what the preferred or what the main URL of that page should be. So tags on what the images. I'm not even meta tags. I just meant in general. I'm not even gone to your images yet. I'm still on the surface. I'm not gone too far, and I'm seeing some things already. Yeah, the site. No, I'm not referring to the site map either. Uh, don't worry. Don't worry. And if you're really serious about this, get on a call, because I won't say everything here because there's too much I'm seeing. And that requires, more than just a clubhouse room. But I'm just going to point out the things that are in reference to the topic of today so that you can also see where email marketing can be a hit or a miss for you. So canonical tags tell the search engines like Google what the main URL of the page should be. And when it's missing, it means that you're missing out from the search engine tail, if I can put it like that. You're not telling the engines anything because the canonical tag is missing. You have a URL, it's indexable, but it's not, the canonical tag is missing. I don't mean a meta tag, canonical tag, CANONICAL, canonical tag. So that is missing. Those are some things that when they're missing, you're missing out. You can have a URL, you can buy a domain, you can buy your hosting, you can buy a website, you can buy leads, you can buy anything. But if that thing is missing, it's like the house, like your key is missing. You can't enter your house. You can't get in, or the search engines can't get through. That's what's happening. Then the second thing is your description is 299 characters. It needs to stay between 70 characters and at least 155 characters. Why? Because when you use letters, letters are pixels. That's why when you send an email comes in a size. If your email size is 5 megabytes, that's going to slow down your click rate. Imagine if you upload images and maybe those images are a megabyte each and you have 5 of them, that's 5 megabytes you're sending to a server than sending 50 kilobytes or 500 kilobytes. So I'm not going to go too technical, but I just want to give you a big surface level. So description tags have pixels, and your pixels have to stay within the range for mobile and for desktop. That's why when you optimize with SEO, it's not just optimizing pages. There are different types of SEO. It's not just on page. So the technical side of this is that you need to reduce it from 299 characters to less than 155, right? Then your title right now is within the right size, and you have to keep it between 50 to 55 or 65 at the very most, or that's about 568 pixels. But at the same time, if you're having your business name first, then you're missing out on keyword targeting. Because right now it says Waltoria, comprehensive insurance and annuities, life, health, and disability. I would flip it and talk about comprehensive insurance and annuities for life, health, and disability patients, Waltoria. I'll flip it because what you're doing is you're creating a tag. A tag follows, right? If you create a tag, it's a follow. So if the tag is starting from the wrong point, then you're missing out on the whole tag. I mean, there's so much I can go down into, but that's what I'm seeing. But there's your H1 tag is protecting your future with trusted financial services, which is great. But the semantics around it also doesn't have that, base. Your schema, I don't see any schema on your website. You have about 20 images, and they don't have all text either. So I'm seeing them, and I don't want to go too far, but this is something I would do on an audit call. But I'm just, because you asked for it, I just wanted to just highlight and tell people, hey, this is what I would do in real time if you really want to know how this works. But the whole essence of doing this is so that you don't just create a website that's beautiful. It has to be functional, it has to be responsive, and it has to be technically savvy for the web to actually create. So I'll pass it to you, Brian, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too.
Ooh, yeah. I could just hear like the passion in your voice, man. You're like, you gotta do this. You gotta do this. So yeah, I totally agree. I mean, sometimes, some of this stuff, I mean, I'm a marketer myself and I understand exactly what you're talking about. And, we got to incorporate this stuff. But you kind of lost me at tags. I was just, I had to go on to Google and remind myself, the importance of tags because sometimes I don't use them as much. And I got to totally agree with you 100% that, you know, most people think their website is just like this brochure style display where there's, talk about themselves, show their images, talk about who they are, and maybe they sell things, maybe they, have an e-commerce website or whatever. But as a marketer on the back end, a website is just like a net that gathers all of this information. And, it starts from the beginning, with a reach out from an email or a podcast download or, a PDF download. It all starts from a marketer's perspective with all of that data. And I see a website not only as a functioning as a design tool and an informational tool, but for a marketer, it is a data gathering tool. And it starts with everything you're talking about, Favor. And I can just tell, again, you are like super excited about this stuff, man. Catch your breath. If you ever need me to hop back in and, start talking over you so you can catch your breath, I will be happy to do that because you get so excited.
Yo, you got me cracking out here. No, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I think it's just a passion for me. People find this like daunting, very like, ugh, I don't want to touch it. But for me, I'm like, this is what I love to see. I love to see data. I love to read through analytics. I think it's because I just studied it, and that's just why I'm in. So a business is a business most, yeah, exactly. It's a business most important asset, most, because that's where you acquire first party data. It's right there. It's literally in print. So please, if I need, please get on a call, connect with me. I would love to help you fix these things because you have amazing articles. I can see them. They do really well. You have everything in place. It's just that the plug is not on, it's not connected. You've used Webflow, so I know about Webflow. I love the platform. You've done all your analytics, you have your studies, you've been able to put your, heat maps, everything in place. But that console, those sitemaps, those schema tags, it's something that is like it's so missed, and when it's missed out, it can be missed through, and we don't want to miss out on those things. So yeah, you have sitemaps. Everybody has a sitemap. Everybody has a sitemap, but your sitemap has to be indexable, and it goes back to the canonical tag we talked about. So please let me know. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. Vahid, thank you for being here and thank you for joining the marketing club too. Please, if you haven't joined, please be also part of us. We'd love to hear your thoughts, anything that you have in mind. Please let us know. And the floor is yours. Any question for us today? Thank you for joining.
Yeah, brother, I'm gonna definitely um, set up a time to catch up with you next week. We have an app that's coming to the App Store, and we're launching it. It's a startup, so we need a lot of marketing. I'm very good at data gathering, so I have a big email list. I've had a few hits and misses. I've had a few good success with it. Connecting AWS SES with G Suite and going through GMass. So I've had good results here and there, but I need to make it more consistent. I'm able to send cold out marketing, especially cold email marketing, but I don't know what's the next step. Like I'm getting good open rates, good replies, all of that stuff is good. It's just that now I need to get them off of the cold and put them into a sequence and use another system to be able to do that. Possibly um, there's a couple other companies that I use for their email marketing. So I kind of need to filter them. So I'm gonna definitely pick your brain and see what are some of the steps that we need to do. But yeah, I think email marketing is overlooked. And I think because there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of wrong information online that's been lingering around for the past 5, 10 years about email marketing, I think a lot of people miss out on a lot of good opportunity because there's a lot of overwhelming amount of information and a lot of it is discouraging, especially a lot of startups and entrepreneurs to get into, being able to prospect and be able to generate leads at a very cost effective, way for their business. So we're definitely going to reach out to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so important. So Vahid is realizing the potential of email marketing. So most people think, all right, and this is how I start off my conversations all the time, just to kind of position myself that, hey, I know a little bit more. So most people think that, hey, email marketing consists of, I'm going to just gather this giant list and send an email out. Well, yeah, that's all good, but okay, that's like a shot in the pan kind of thing. If you're selling something, you send out, let's say you have a list of 300 people and you send out one email and you get maybe 50 sales from that. That's perfect. But now what do you do? Do you send out another email to that list again? You can, but you're probably pestering them. So what is the wise thing to do is to take your email list and always cultivate it, always keep looking at it. In other words, so just keep it alive. And what I mean by that is segmentation. Segmentation is so important. So let's say you have, 25 people on an email list of 300. You have 25 people who opened up your email once. Okay, so you're going to segment them into another campaign that has another series of emails that go to that group. Then you have, a group of people who are constantly open up your emails. I know there's clients out there that I have right now that have email lists that they send out one email and they have that subscriber opening up that email 17, 18, 20 times. So that person goes into another segmented list, what's usually known as, I label it as, hot client list. And that list, you're always constantly keeping in touch, you're always emailing, you're sending out your information to them. Those are hot prospects that you always want to keep engaged. As for those other ones who like open up your email maybe 5 times out of the 100 times that you send it a year, that goes into another segmented list. So Vahid is kind of thinking that, all right, I need to do a lot with this list, and there is a lot that you can do with an email list if you have a professional like Favor or who knows about marketing to segment that list and to work it as best as you possibly can to get the most out of it. And Fahid is figuring that out now, which is so cool.
Yeah, just to add on that, Brian, I sent an email marketing about 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago. And I'm still till today, it's just baffling to me that I'm still getting reply on the shit that I sent 3 4 years ago. I'm like, why are these people? So sometimes maybe the open rate is not instant, but I have proof that you could send an email 3 4 years ago and it still get replies on it. And that just tells you that people, are still opening their email, they're still checking it. And again, I'm pretty sure you guys gonna cover the subject line, the content, how do you write it, all that stuff. But I think it's fascinating because if you learn this skill and you come and you get consultation, you get good advisors helping you, I think long term it's going to pay for itself tenfold, because these are skills that you're going to need every single day, regardless of the industry that you go in or the business you go in.
100%. I love creative, psychology and scientific marketing because you're dealing with psychological senses, you're dealing with logical senses, you're dealing with emotional senses. People have their own things they've learned from different places. Like you said, those are things they've trained on, there's things they've studied, there's things they stand on. But, some people don't want to unlearn to learn new things. And sometimes when you learn new things, you unlearn some things that you should have not even learned in the first place. So you're right. There's so much to uncover, but as long as you're above the threshold, because different industries also have different open rates and click rate averages. So not every industry has the same average, just like every company has a different NICS code. Every industry has a different NICS code. So you can't associate the same industry with your another entirely different industry. So it has to match what people are saying, how people are saying them. Is it e-commerce? Is it brick and mortar? Is it service only? Is it franchise? Is it connections? Is it partnerships? It's a huge wide range. And for you, Vahid, when you mentioned the app, as soon as you mentioned the app, two platforms came to mind. Pinterest, because Pinterest is great for rich text, for rich connections, because rich text is like recipes, articles, apps, products, because they're very passionate about, conversions, because they also do good retargeting there as well. And the second thing I thought about was digital billboards, because it's very low end, really, really low end right now. Not many people are using digital billboards correctly or as they should be because they don't know how it even works. So there's the whole semantics to that. But those are two platforms. If you're working in an area that, yes, people are walking, and we know that there are 3,000 people walking here per hour at peak hours, and we know there's a QR code that's scanning of the code. Maybe they're at the restaurant, or they're at the mall, or they're at the airport, or they're maybe at a bus shelter, wherever they are, we can create those intentional targets so that even as they're connecting, the context of you talking about that or whatever it is, like I'm saying, it's a summary app, it's a summary it's a book summary app for entrepreneurs. Now when I'm thinking about that contextually, I'm going to different places. I'm going to libraries. I'm going to, theatrical event centers. I'm going to places where books and literature is their affinity. And you can find that on Pinterest too. So we can definitely go 1,000 ways, but I definitely look forward to connecting with you. And congratulations on the app as well. So thank you for that question, Vahid.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anytime. Entre's in the building. What's up, D? Welcome to the room. Love to hear from you. What you thinking when you stepped in? You're mute. Probably busy. But let us know when you're back. Let us know when you're back. No, thank you guys for being here and listening and being part of this. And I love that we're talking about this completely because we have to think about the long term effect, right? We have to think about the long term plan. How do we
Can you hear
create
me?
content? Yes. What's up, man? Welcome. What's
What
going
up? What
down?
up? It's game time, baby. I'm just playing, but
Hey.
I don't know why my phone just glitched and I had to literally like zoom in, zoom out. Not zoom in, like leave, come back. But as far as email marketing, I think you were saying what's the strategy? Somebody's always trying to call me as soon as I want to talk, right? A strategy on email marketing. Email marketing. I'm gonna give an advanced strategy. I'm gonna give an advanced strategy. It may be inducive to your health to use ChatGPT just to Google a few terminologies, right? But definitely always tuning into your room's favor. Staying consistent, man, staying consistent. But as far as being able to a Chrome job, a Chrome job, CRON, right? Is the future of what AI looks like, right? So when we say agents, and a great agent tool, right, for email marketing is because I teach high level agents in AI and different things like that. Of course, been doing apps and stuff like that for 10 years. But as far as a super AGI, right, it's a great free open source. Free and open source is not exactly the same, but it's free and open source. So you can easily connect your Gmail settings or your email server settings when you get into the real advanced levels, right? You can try the user interface that they have online, so you don't have to, download anything until you try it out, right? But then you have a version where you can download and you can now chat with your Gmail box, right? Once you connect, it gives you instructions, you go to Google Super AGI Gmail, right? You can follow those instructions to get your credentials, right, inside your Gmail settings. Simply connect these things together. Just following a couple steps, maybe take it 10 minutes, 20 minutes for those is challenged. But as far as being able to prompt your email box is one thing, right? To be able to prompt your email box, check your email box, say, hey, give me a summary. Hey, analyze these. Hey, respond to all these, right? All these are now prompts. You can say, hey, this is the prompt for ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, I got a better AI. Give me that has access to my emails. You don't have to say super AGI, right? Give me prompts that I can take out of this whack AI, you ChatGPT, and go take to my to my other AI, right? And when you learn how to plug super AGI and start learning how to play around, right? Then you get to a point where you can unplug ChatGPT and plug something like Olama, which now you can do these email automations for free, right? But then when you get to a level of a Chrome job is almost like if you have this AI, you perfected this prompt. Let's just say the prompt is check this email box, break down a summary, in importance, and respond to the top 5 emails you think needs responding to, and draft a great response, and then send me an email every morning at 7 o'clock. Right? You can prompt that prompt to Super AGI once it has access to your emails, but to have that AI on autopilot to do that every day at the same time or multiple actions every day at the same time is going to require that AI to stay alive, to be living even when you close the computer. The solution I just gave you, it's have it working on your computer, right? But then it's going to come to a point where if you close your computer, it's not going to do it at 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So you're going to get your email box and like, hey, my AI didn't work, right? So to automate this process is technically it's called a Chrome job because you're managing the agent on a virtual environment, which is a server, cloud, whatever you want to call it. And when you put that in retrospect to what's going on in the world, companies are firing thousands of people and because of AI. So if it's not a robotic AI, where do you think the AI lives? In the cloud. as a Chrome job to repeat the activities of the human being. So when you put those in the email aspect, we can easily say, hey, ChatGPT, create me 365 emails so I can put out a sequence, right? But if you use a Chrome job to create the emails daily, customly, now you have, a better automation with the AI instead of an automation that, may get a little old trying to copy and paste 365 emails. But yeah, I just wanted to put a few thoughts in your head because that's the future of AI and systems and certain emails and stuff like that. So Chrome jobs, super AGI, Olama, put it together, make it happen.
Bruh. Go, Brian.
Super AGI. Oh my God. Where have you been? This is so geeky. I love it. Email warm up and super sales. Introducing LinkedIn as a new outreach channel. Find AI agent curated contacts. Where have you been?
See,
Thank you.
I didn't even get to the server
That's
warming, but
crazy.
the server warming is exactly where it's going to jump to if we start getting in details and doing your own server email outreach on autopilot. But you on spot, Brian.
See, now these are little, see, as a marketing agency, right, or as a marketing professional, these are little employees, right? These are employees that you don't have to pay that do a lot of the tedious work for you while you strategize for your clients. This is awesome. Thank you so much for this.
This is huge, man. No, I appreciate you for this. And that's why I tell people, hey, just figure out what's best for you because sometimes you just got to know what's really working to figure out the whole system. And it just takes one little click, one little keyword, one little tracking code, one little,
One little open source app like Langflow
you know what I'm saying?
that turned me into my own Zapier on mixed with Chat GPT. So one little app like Langflow would change your whole life. Instead of all these commercial platforms, but most of the time you have to be technically savvy to implement open source activity. Applications. That's why it's free. Free in chat gpt is because they're trying to upsell you on the next level. Free commercially means we trying to get you somewhere. Free open source, we trying to get the technology somewhere, so we give it out for free so that the people can make it evolve.
It's group work. It's group study and it's group thinking, but it's also intellectually
Yeah, it's
thinking with
intellectually
leadership.
taking this open source offline, making it my own, making my own commercial product, like Brian was talking about. Put my own
Mhm.
language models in the cloud using open source ones, and now sell the whole solution.
Exactly. Nah, 100%. This is definitely a room that I think if anybody's listening to, you should have gotten something by now. Like that's why I call it sweet email marketing strategies. That's the semantics. That's the sentimental value. You don't want bitter sweet. You don't want bitter You want sweet ones. You want that. Okay, they can open it. They can connect. What are they actually clicking on? Why are they clicking here? Which was your highest open rate? What's been your highest open rate ever? You have to ask those questions. I look at mine 20. I looked at 24 months. I want to share with you guys because I told you I use Flowdesk and why specifically I started working with Flowdesk, and now we're partnered with Flowdesk from working, as an affiliate to now like partnering with them is in a span of 5 years. Because this was 2019, I showed you guys a podcast episode that actually led to this, and that was in July 1st, 2020. But 2019 was when I was able to get it on. Now, if you look at Flowdesk, not many companies can say this, not many businesses can say this, but with email marketing, why I love Flowdesk so much is because they partnered with Amazon SCS. And Vahi talked about it earlier too. That Amazon SCS is important for email deliverability, for high accuracy in actually getting the emails through. That doesn't mean, yeah, it's connected. That means automatically you're going to get high email deliverability. You still have to build, nurture, connect. You still have to do those things. They'll give you the technical know-how. They'll give you the technical, like, bouncing castle. You're going to figure out how high you want to jump on that trampoline. How high do you want those open rates to go? That's depending on you. That depends on how you structure it. How do you set those boundaries? How do you set those parameters? How do you set those targets? How do you set those things? 2 years ago, I'll give you guys my stats so that you guys also can see it. For our company, Working Play Entertainment, in 2022, October 2022, our average open rate was 23.1%, and our average click rate was 1.1%. That's October 2022. October 2023, our average open rate was 26.5%. That's 2023. And our average click rate was 1.9%. Now, 2024, because I said this year, I'm gonna switch it up to gear five. I don't know what next year is gonna be like, because 6G is coming. I don't know if you guys know that, but there's 6G on the way. We have 5G, 6G is on the way. The open rate for 2024, the month is not over. My open rate right now, as I'm looking at the dashboard, open rate for 2024 October is 31.5%, and our click-through rate is 23.9% October. So we've jumped from having a simple 1.9% click rate to a 23.9 click rate in the last 12 months. So you ask me, how did that happen? SEO, podcast, consistency, in just being very intentional, segmenting, like technical SEO, all these things. I mean, the list can go on and on and on. But if you want to also have this as well, you have to think about the factors you're driving in. I'm giving you guys numbers. I'm probably going to put this on my LinkedIn because that's how people are going to see it, and that's where I connect with a lot of people too. So you will see this. I'll put the screenshots out there. There's nothing for me to hide. I'll show you exactly what it is because it's telling me. I can see it all time. Like when subscribers open my email, our emails are open between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. That's when we have the highest, 27.5%, 27.0%. The next one is 26%, which is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and then 19.5% between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. So I know between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m., I'm up at 3 a.m., right? So I already know between 4 a.m. and at 9 a.m., I know what's going on. I know peak hours. I know what's going on in traffic hours because I do digital billboards. So I'm able to even look at the roads and know, okay, this road, this country, this city, this state, this county, this zip code, this district, I can see those things. Data, whatever you want to call it, is the new oil. If you can't like construct, restruct, and obstruct parameters, then I don't know how you're going to deal with 2025 with AI coming. Even if you're on the App Store, you have to think about your authentic capabilities online, because that link, the way it says the app website, it's still SEO. That's ASO rather, App Store optimization. So you still have to think about the SEO fundamental things. That schema is important. When you have product guides, bottom of funnel articles, top of funnel articles, even middle of funnel articles, how do they coincide with everything? How does it play a big role? So those are some things that we got to cover. But for us to cover them, we have to see them from the mountaintops, but also look down and be very intentional with who you're bringing up as well, and who you're connecting with too really matters. Liverpool, would love to hear from you too. What are your thoughts on the topic? Liverpool might be away, but flash up and let us know.
Speechless. Speechless.
Yeah, I think we got 8 more minutes to go before we wrap up the room. So hopefully you're back before then. We've been here for an hour 52 minutes. So I'm really happy that we've been here, and time is of the essence. I really love to respect everyone's time. And I know that, sending out emails and connecting with people sounds like a burden, but I'm telling you, if you send out emails and your SEO is wrong, you're not going to get those open rates, those click rates. You're not going to get those conversion rates. Anywhere between a 1 to 3% conversion rate is good. Over that, exceptionally great, right? Below 1%, okay, we can get there. Below 0.5%, okay, something got to change, because those branches are very big. We've not even talked about unsubscribe rate, right? For us, lifetime metrics, right? We've sent our total volume is 1,021,755. Our unsubscribe rate is 0.1%. So what Brian was talking about earlier with the people who open your email, click it, and then open it again and click it through. again. Because sometimes they may open your email today, then they'll open it again next week, then they'll open it next year. You know, Vahid talked about it. People are still responding to emails that were because it's in your inbox. It's in your inbox. It's the safest place to keep information. That's why emails are very sensitive when people, elections, politics, news, tech, whatever it is, finance, real estate, whatever it is, food, emails, you can't ignore that. For every dollar you spend on an email, you get $36 to $42 back. That is $36 to $42 back for every dollar you spend. So if you are thinking about the people you're connecting with, you're not thinking about the sales you're making on the front end. You're thinking about the back end relationships that are leading to the sales that you intend. If you have to cross over milestones quarter over quarter, what are you doing with the time? We don't run ads to get leads. These are organic. All I'm showing you here is organic. So it's connecting with people because if it wasn't organic, I would have very low click rates, very low open rates because they didn't ask to be here. They just found themselves on a platform. But if they actually stay, then they want to stay. If if you have a 1% unsubscribe rate plus, that's a bad thing because that means people are reporting you as spam. They're reporting you for phishing, PHI, not phishing like F, but PH for phishing. They're reporting you for all kinds of things, and you do not want that. So just make sure that you have that on a very, very good level. That way you can be able to connect with people as much as you can. And those emails are very important, especially if it makes sense to them and it's valuable. If it's value, it's value. If it has value, it has value. If it was a good question, it was a good question. You can't deny it was a good question if the question was good. So let's not overestimate or overanalyze or overemphasize things that are just simply the facts. So, sweet email marketing strategies for business websites starts with conversations that lead to considerations that lead to conversions. And with that, we have 5 more minutes. Liverpool, I'm giving you one more. Are you around? Wanted to make sure we can cover the room. And before we close, I wanted you guys to also know that the marketing club has officially crossed 350,000 subscribers. We are here. You know what I'm saying? 350 members, 350K members. I mean, I knew this was going to happen this week. I predicted yesterday, so it happened today. So maybe I was 24 hours late. You know, you have to think about these things, right? Okay, you're here. We got 4 minutes. We'd love to hear from you. You're having a good time, Liverpool. What's up?
Hi, Favour. I won't be too long. I know you're just about rounding up. So obviously, I came in at the tail end of the conversation. I've been really, really busy today. But yeah, I think we've had this conversation before. How I feel about email marketing in general. But to be fair, um, yeah, people make arguments that it's an effective way to really get out your product and things like that. But one thing that I think is very important when you go down email marketing is to because I do my research on Forbes and things like that, because Forbes is very, very good when it comes to like industrial things that you should be doing for business and things like that. So one of the things is that, and Brian touched upon it, is personalization and segmentation, because there's so many times where you'll have so many people in your email list, and you'll just send one generalized email. And people, it doesn't work for people because people don't want to feel like just a number. They don't want to feel like just a statistic. They want to feel like you care about them, and you care about their interest, you care about what they like to do, etc., etc., etc. These are real life people. These are not just people that that obviously their money will obviously give you more of a lifeline, but yeah, they are also people that have feelings that they and things like that. So it's like, even if you're like marketing, and if when it also comes down to people's general interest. So if you've got somebody who is younger, let's say in their 30s, they're not necessarily going to be interested in somebody the same interest as somebody who may be in their late 50s or 60s, etc., because they all come from different walks of life as well. Another thing that I will say, and I think is very, very important, and I think most people are doing it now already, to be honest, is making sure that their emails and their websites coincide with mobile optimization, because obviously a lot more people now using their smartphones and people checking their emails on the go on their phones, etc. So if something is not working on their phone, maybe it's an image, maybe it's a video, etc., it's just not going to work. So making sure that it's not pixelated, etc., because it's not going to look back good on you at the end of the day. And it's very important that you kind of make sure that that is all up to date as well, and also making sure that you're making sure that you've got up to date information on there. Another thing that could be really, really, really good and effective as well, maybe doing live testimonials of people who have purchased from your product and everything like that. So it's not just you that is saying that the product is great. It's the person who's actually bought the product, that the product is great, and they're going to be more trusting and more, maybe more inclined to buy from you, or go into whatever service that you're providing. So it's very important to actually really do that as well. And again, also making sure that that they are that nothing is pixelated or anything like that. All the videos are working, and making sure as well. Another thing, I'm sorry, I'm going on for a very, very long time, is making sure that your emails are not too lengthy, that they're not. To cut out the waffle, to cut out the crap, because a lot of people, if you're like me, you don't always read emails, especially if they are too long. People just want to, because people are busy, they just want to read snappy emails, so that's very, very important. Just cut out the crap and the waffle. So, but anyway, I'll hand the mic back over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I definitely started off the room by saying brevity is wise. Brevity is wise. You know, the more concise you are, the faster you can take action on an email. Emails are not to be read. They're meant to take action on. When you send an email is a prompt. It's a notification. So when you have email up notifications, app notifications, SMS notifications, it's a request for a call to action, not a response to sit or a response to view. You know, so the quicker you are, the faster it gets. So this has been great. And I'm glad we are able to cover this room today in about 2 hours, 2 hours, 1 minute. So thank you all for joining. This is a great room. We gotta go. But I would like to pass it to you real quick if you gotta say something, say it in 30 seconds, because I gotta go. I've been here for two
All
hours
right,
and
all right.
I don't want to overload everybody
I'm gonna
either.
make it short because y'all make some great points. But it's always making me stay on my edge of my toes, and even in my email marketing, it's a consistent thing. It's more consistent than knowledge. And Liverpool kind of put it as it's a conversation until it gets to many, then it gets to segmented conversations, right? But Favor was talking about a high level of being able to kind of see the full archy. It's literally like a I forgot the structure, what it called, but it's like a structure that leads to another structure and then the structure under another structure, right? But when you start learning how to become a better prompt engineer, right, when it comes to being able to prompt onboarding, sequence, lead magnet series, all these things when it comes to email sequences, it's all about the system. I was talking about chatting with your email box itself, but for me, it's about chatting with the system. To be able to, and my WordPress is plugged up to my email marketing system, so I can actually, hey, give me a list of the funnel sequences I got, right, or improve this one, right. So prompts like that, it's being engineered in place, and when you have things like WordPress and you go on your own server, it's connected through a command line, right? So having a command line AI like open interpreter, it allows you to do prompts and engineer exactly where it needs to be engineered, and that is the misconception when you're prompting, because you're still missing a lot of engineering in those concepts. So I rather talk to the system because it's plugged into, my SMTP, which is my email marketing, right, which is the email server, or plugged into the application that does the SMS or the email marketing, so you can, overall chat with your systems. If you can do that, then you can correlate a lot of things instantly. And if you can send actions and make requests, both of those things are not the same exact thing. But if you have the best open interpreter that's open source, you can, plug your APIs and your command lines up, and do better prompting, and ask about your talk to your email or talk to the system that's connected to email and other things. And that's the level of talking to your whole system to improve itself. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's what I was thinking about when you're saying hierarchy of understanding your systems. But even if you don't understand it, if you have an AI where you can get to understand or improve it where it is versus figure out where to do it.
Exactly. 100%. Nah, thank you for
Yo,
that. Yo, man, I was calling you to come up early. You come at the last minute. I know you're busy and you said you got at the top of the hour. What's up now?
yeah,
You
I
gotta.
was at work. I know you have to run, but I think it's very important that we have a conversation about websites. And I think you guys have already had a great conversation so far, and highlighted the importance of websites. But before I even say what I need to say, it's very important for folks to remember that Google is a website, right? At the end of the day, it's either people search for www.google.com, or they're searching for www.walteria.io, right? Or www. Whatever your website domain is. And that website, once they land in that link, it could be anything, right? So my website currently is almost like after I finished building my website, I had like a crisis moment. It's like, did I really spend all this time to put up like a PowerPoint on my website? My website has to accomplish more. It has to do more. Like, I'm paying for hosting fees, invest a lot of time in design to put up pages that people are not even going to look at. Like, I'm thinking differently about how do I build, for example, my blog posts. I want to convert each blog post I put. I'm going to have like a text to speech AI, just adding functionality to my website, like adding functionality to my website that makes people visit, ask information about finances, um, have a login area where people can check their taxes, like add features to get people to visit, sign up, give me their information, book an appointment, just drive that type of thing. Because if not, what's the point? Are you just putting up a website, just have a design file up on the internet?
Hmm.
So it has to do something, right? So that's really my where I currently am with my website.
No, thank you, man. Thank you, and I'm glad that you put your website up. We'll definitely got to talk. I'll reach out to you because I know we've been like kind of like on each other's radars for about a couple of years now. But we'll definitely connect for sure, man. That's why I love Clubhouse. This day you never know when that day comes, so that's why you just have to keep doing what you do best and just be the best person.
I agree.
Every time you get exactly. 100%. Nah, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a great room. It's just everybody has said something heavy, 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 heavy. So appreciate you all for being here. We're gonna have more rooms like this, and I'll be definitely back again. We'd have rooms on a daily basis depending on the time. So tomorrow is what, Wednesday? We're gonna have a room here tomorrow. So just make sure you guys are available, and I'll definitely schedule it out so that you guys can get it. It might be early in the day, like way early. I don't know. We're gonna see. I probably might do the same time as today. Yeah, probably I'll do the same time as today just to keep it consistent for this week. But we have them every day, and you always get an information piece. And if you want more insights, please click the link above so you can get more insights on the podcast. We have over 430 episodes in 119 countries listened to at top 3% globally, called Work We Don't Play podcast. So listen, tap in, learn a few things, learn from the people we feature, learn from the people that we connect with. And also, I learn more from people than I'm able to learn. They learn from me. So the more I'm able to learn, the more I'm able to listen, because listen and silent is the same word. If you just use Scrabble and rearrange the words, it's the same phonetic. It just sounds the same. It sounds very different, but the root is the same if you look at the English vocabulary, it's the same thing. So silent and listen equals to value. So thanks for
Hey,
joining.
I'm sorry. I know you're about to end.
I gotta
Just
go,
one
bro.
last. You got to go. No wala, no wala.
I gotta
I'll let you
go.
go
I
after
know,
that.
I want to
Appreciate the
respect
room,
everyone's
favor, man.
time.
Appreciate the room, man. Always,
Thank you.
always, always. Keep it going, keep it going. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. For sure. Nah, love you guys. Appreciate you. God bless you all. Have a great, great day. Happy Taco Tuesday for those who like tacos. Enjoy yourself. Don't take too much. But yeah, just be good. Enjoy your day. And I'll see you guys definitely tomorrow. So take care, everybody. Take care.